Quick tip here on the Prius headlight bulbs when just changing bulbs, not the headlight assemblies themselves. I did a whole nother video on that. These Philips H11, there's a bunch of different ones of the H11s. Some are brighter than others. I got some of the brighter ones. And this passenger side is the hardest one to get to. It looks like it's really hard to get to this one on the driver's side, but it's not. There's plenty of room back here between the fuse box. So it's just enough room to where it's nice and roomy. But over here, the only reason it looks really roomy right now is because I took the air cleaner snorkel out. And once the air cleaner snorkel is out, you can really get your arm in here, all the way down in here. There's just enough room now to go from hand to elbow down here and really stick your elbow down in there, and then you can get just the right angle and get in there. I also took these bolts loose from the reservoir, and then the reservoir can go back ever so slightly, which makes a big difference. I have an aftermarket oil catch can that I sneaked down in here before I put my snorkel on, which is also in the way. And with this snorkel out of the way, I can move it over here out of the way, and like I said, put my whole arm down there if I want to, and just change that with ease. They're 10mm bolts. There's 3 of them, and they are positioned here and here and right here. There are only 2 bolts on the reservoir, here and here, and I do not take the hoses loose because I don't want to lose any fluid. I just want it to go back that little bit. No matter which way I try to set the camera inside the car, you cannot see nearly this well. So I got these old headlight assemblies so I can show you how the bulbs fit in here. This is where the low beam goes, and this is where the high beam goes. And the low beam, you can see how it's got these 3 different places, and one is wider. And so the widest one goes right here, and it sets in there, and then turn it clockwise. Now this is an LED thing, and counterintuitively, the LED one doesn't seem to send out the light quite as good as the OEM type bulbs do. And if you take the OEM type bulb here, it's got a wide space right there that coincides with the wide space. Pretty much do the same thing, stick it right in there and turn it. And whether it's LED or this, I do not touch this bulb at all, because it seems like they don't last as long if you get hand oil on them, which is pretty much anything in automotive, even automotive paint, everything. Hand oil is just really bad for just about everything on a car. I wanted to show you something else here to look out for. Sometimes the bulbs, when they go out, they get really hot. And you can see a lot of heat damage right here. It's cracked and cracked. And this won't even hold the bulb anymore. You got the wide space right there. You get the bulb in there and turn it, and look, it opens up. And it'll be in there for a little while. You hit a few bumps and the bulb comes out and ends up falling down in there in a space that's really hard to reach. And it's not like you can just reach in there and put it back in there, because you've got to take all that stuff off that I showed you to make room to really get up in there. This is the one on the passenger side. And this one is starting to get a little tiny crack right there. So although these were able to be polished a few times and brought back up to where they would work pretty well, they were coming apart back here where the low beam bulbs go, and that ended up being their demise. And if that hadn't happened, inside they were starting to get yellowy on the inside. You can't polish that out. So these headlight assemblies, no matter how good you are at polishing and stuff, they're not going to last forever. And I wouldn't buy any of these LEDs anymore, because these, not this, because this one was a lower grade of the Philips, but this Philips Vision Plus, they claim 60% more light. I don't know if it's a full 60% more, but it is a noticeable amount more than this bulb. And it's a noticeable amount more hitting the right places right on the street and everything than what this LED thing did. So I would buy these again. And I'm going to put a link in the description of this video for these H11s by Philips. What do you think, Mr. Shopcat? You think that's the best bulb to have? And here's what those lights look like at night. That's the low beams, which are the bulbs that I put in. These are the high beams, low beams. You can see if you're on the road, they actually cast the light on the road. And from here to the barn garage there, it's a lot of light right on the ground, which would be on the road. And that is about 150 feet. And here's what they look like from outside the car. I'm going to come around the front, face the front, so you can see what color they look like. Which is really not any color at all. It's just more of a creamy white. And then here's a pretty close-up look. This is the actual low beam light. That's just some kind of marker light. And the high beams come out here. And yes, I don't know if you can tell with the camera or not, they are definitely noticeably brighter than the bulbs that I took out. Both the original bulbs and the LED bulbs are not as bright as these are. We can see if we can get Mrs. Shopcat's approval, but little Mr. Shopcat has been being bad and chased her up underneath the Corvette here. See the little tail sticking out? See what you did, Mr. Shopcat? There's nothing but a tail left. What do you got to say for yourself? Oh, there she goes, making a break for it. And he's lost interest and caught the scent of something and went under the cleaning machine. Shopcat drama today. I'll see y'all in the next one.